When people think of the world's largest islands, many picture places like Australia or Madagascar. But Australia is officially classified as a continent. That makes Greenland the largest island on Earth. At first glance, it doesn't look particularly valuable. Nearly 80% of the island is buried beneath a massive ice sheet, some places more than 3 kilometers thick. The temperatures can plunge far below freezing. Entire towns remain isolated for months. Roads connecting major settlements barely exist. Instead of highways, many communities rely on boats, helicopters, or aircraft simply to visit one another. From space, Greenland appears almost entirely white, a frozen world suspended between North America and Europe. And for hundreds of years, that image shaped the world's opinion. Cold, remote, empty, unimportant. But appearances have a habit of hiding the truth. Because beneath that endless blanket of ice lies one of the greatest collections of untapped natural wealth on Earth. And above that ice runs one of the most important strategic locations on the planet. If you love uncovering the world's hidden stories, subscribe so you don't miss out on our next video. Greenland wasn't ignored because it lacked value. It was ignored because humanity didn't yet have the technology or the need to unlock what it offered. Now, that is beginning to change. Look at a globe, not a flat map. A globe. Something immediately becomes obvious. Greenland isn't located at the edge of the world. It's almost perfectly positioned between two of the most powerful regions on Earth. To the west, North America. To the east, Europe. And above it, the Arctic. For centuries, the Arctic was considered an impossible frontier. Ships became trapped in ice. Explorers disappeared. Entire expeditions ended in tragedy. Crossing these waters wasn't simply difficult. Sometimes, it was impossible. As a result, Greenland remained isolated from the ambitions of global empires. But geography has a strange way of becoming important when technology changes. Airplanes transformed military strategy. Long-range missiles transformed defense. Satellites transformed surveillance. And suddenly, Greenland wasn't isolated anymore. It was perfectly positioned. During the 20th century, military planners reached an astonishing conclusion. If aircraft or missiles were traveling between North America and parts of Europe or Asia, many of the shortest routes passed near Greenland. That realization changed everything. The island wasn't merely sitting in the Arctic. It had become a natural watchtower over one of the most sensitive regions on Earth. And powerful nations noticed. Long before today's headlines, Greenland had already attracted the attention of world leaders. During the Second World War, its location became strategically valuable. Then came the Cold War. Two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, each fearing that the other might strike first. Military planners studied maps relentlessly. Every possible flight path, every radar station, every warning system, every minute counted. If missiles crossed the Arctic, early detection could mean the difference between preparation and catastrophe. Greenland suddenly became one of the world's most valuable listening posts. Not because millions lived there, but because almost nobody did. Its remote location made it ideal for radar installations, airfields, and military infrastructure. Quietly, without much public attention, Greenland became part of one of the largest security networks ever built. Even today, that military importance has never truly disappeared. If anything, it has become even greater. For thousands of years, Greenland's ice barely changed on a human timescale. Generation after generation saw the same frozen landscape. Then scientists began noticing something unusual. The ice wasn't standing still anymore. It was shrinking, slowly at first, then faster. Every summer, enormous rivers of meltwater carved across the surface. Glaciers that had remained stable for centuries began retreating. Massive chunks of ice broke away into the sea. The world watched these events largely through the lens of climate change. But governments saw something else. As the ice retreated, it revealed opportunities that had been hidden for millennia. Minerals, rare earth elements, new coastlines, new shipping possibilities. Suddenly, what looked like an environmental crisis also became a geopolitical race. A race that was only just beginning. asking, what would you if you discover that beneath a frozen landscape lie resources critical to modern civilization? The smartphones in our pockets, electric vehicles, wind turbines, advanced military equipment, artificial intelligence infrastructure. Many depend on minerals that are becoming increasingly valuable. Now imagine those minerals are located in one of the most strategically important places on Earth. Who controls them? Who develops them? Who profits from them? Those questions are no longer theoretical. Governments are asking them right now. Investors are asking them. Military planners are asking them. And Greenland itself is asking them. Because for the people who actually live there, this isn't just an international chessboard. It's home. As the world's attention turns north, Greenland faces a future unlike anything in its history. Will it become richer than ever before? Will it gain greater independence? Or will it become the center of a new global rivalry? Those answers lie ahead. And to understand them, we first need to uncover what is hidden beneath the ice. Take a look around you. The laptop on your desk, electric cars, wind turbines, fighter jets, missile guidance systems, even many of the technologies driving artificial intelligence. They all depend on materials that most people have never heard of. Rare earth elements. Despite the name, many of these minerals aren't actually extremely rare. The real challenge is finding them in concentrations large enough to mine economically and refining them into usable materials. These elements are essential for making incredibly strong magnets, precision electronics, lasers, batteries, and advanced military technology. Without them, modern civilization slows down. Now imagine discovering one of the world's largest untapped deposits. That's exactly why Greenland has become so important. Beneath its frozen landscape lie deposits of rare earth elements, uranium, iron, ore, zinc, graphite, and other critical minerals. Some geologists believe many more resources remain undiscovered, still hidden beneath ice that has covered the island for thousands of years. And suddenly, Greenland is no longer just a frozen island. It's becoming one of the world's most valuable vaults. But here's the problem. Finding these minerals is only part of the story. The real challenge is controlling the supply. Today, much of the world's rare earth processing is dominated by one country, China. Over decades, China invested heavily in mining, refining, and manufacturing. As a result, many countries now depend on Chinese supply chains for materials that power everything from smartphones to advanced defense systems. That dependence has become a growing concern, especially as tensions between major powers have increased. Imagine if the material needed to build your country's fighter jets, medical equipment, electric vehicles, or advanced computer chips mostly came from another nation with whom relations could suddenly deteriorate. Governments don't like that kind of dependence, so they began looking elsewhere. And once again, their eyes turned toward Greenland. The race for Greenland isn't just about what's under the ground. It's also about what's happening above it. For centuries, thick Arctic ice made shipping through the far north almost impossible. Cargo ships traveling between Europe and Asia usually had to pass through long routes like the Suez Canal or around the southern tip of Africa. Those journeys take time, and in global trade, time means money. As Arctic sea ice has declined during warmer months, shipping companies and governments have begun exploring northern routes that were once blocked by ice. These routes can shorten travel between continents under the right seasonal conditions. Imagine cutting days, or even weeks, from major shipping journeys. The economic implications are enormous. Ports become more valuable, fuel costs fall, trade becomes faster, and once again, Greenland finds itself sitting in exactly the right place. What was once considered the edge of the world is beginning to look like the center of a new Arctic trade network. History has a strange habit of repeating itself. For decades after the Cold War, many believed the Arctic would remain a peaceful frontier. But today, military activity in the region is increasing. Russia has expanded military infrastructure across its Arctic territories. The United States has renewed its focus on Arctic defense. NATO countries are strengthening cooperation in northern regions. Why? Because whoever can monitor the Arctic gains a strategic advantage. Modern missiles, submarines, long-range bombers, early warning radar, satellite tracking. Many of these systems rely on geography, and Greenland's geography is almost impossible to ignore. Its location allows countries to observe activity across vast portions of the North Atlantic and Arctic. That's one reason military facilities have remained important there for decades. In a world where technology moves at incredible speed, minutes of warning can matter. Sometimes, seconds. Then something happened that surprised almost everyone. An American president openly suggested buying Greenland. Around the world, many people laughed. Some dismissed the idea as impossible. Others treated it as a joke. But beneath the headlines was a much more serious reality. Countries rarely express interest in buying territory unless they believe it has extraordinary strategic value. Whether or not such a purchase was realistic wasn't the most important question. The important question was this: why would the world's most powerful nation even consider it? The answer wasn't simply about land. It was about location, resources, security, and the future of the Arctic. That single proposal forced millions of people to look at Greenland in an entirely different way. Suddenly, the forgotten island was dominating international news. And once the spotlight arrived, it never really left. As governments discuss military strategy, as companies discuss mining, as world leaders discuss shipping routes, there is one group of people whose voices often receive far less attention: the people who actually live in Greenland. Because while outsiders see opportunity, Greenlanders see something far more personal: their home, their culture, their future. Many welcome new economic opportunities. Others fear that rapid development could permanently change the island they have known for generations. Some dream of greater independence. Others worry about becoming caught between competing global powers. And that raises perhaps the biggest question of all: who gets to decide Greenland's future? The countries competing for influence, or the people who call the island home? The answer is far more complicated than it first appears. Because Greenland's relationship with Denmark and its growing desire for self-determination may be the most important part of this entire story. Life in Greenland is unlike almost anywhere else. There are no highways connecting most towns. If you want to visit another community, you often can't simply drive there. Instead, you might need a boat, a helicopter, or a small aircraft flying over endless stretches of ice and sea. Winter can bring weeks of darkness in some parts of the island. Summer can bring days when the sun barely sets. Nature doesn't just shape daily life here. It controls it. Fishing remains one of Greenland's most important industries, providing jobs and supporting communities across the island. The sea isn't just beautiful. For many families, it is their livelihood. Generations have learned to respect the Arctic rather than fight against it. Because in Greenland, nature always wins. Many people are surprised to learn that Greenland is not an independent country. It is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. That relationship stretches back hundreds of years. For much of its history, major political decisions affecting Greenland were made in Copenhagen, thousands of kilometers away. But over time, that relationship began to change. In 1979, Greenland was granted home rule, giving it greater control over many domestic affairs. Then, in 2009, another major milestone arrived. The Self-Government Act transferred even more powers to Greenland's own institutions and formally recognized the Greenlandic people as a distinct people under international law. Today, Greenland manages many of its own internal affairs while Denmark continues to oversee areas such as foreign affairs and defense, alongside providing financial support. For many Greenlanders, this arrangement raises an important question. Should the island one day become fully independent? It's a question with no simple answer. Independence is about more than flying your own flag. It also means paying your own bills. Every year, Denmark provides significant financial support that helps fund public services in Greenland. Hospitals, schools, infrastructure, public administration. If Greenland were to become fully independent tomorrow, replacing that support would be a tremendous economic challenge. That is one reason the island's natural resources have become so important. If mining projects succeed, if new industries develop, if Greenland can build a stronger economy, then independence could become more financially realistic. But every opportunity comes with difficult choices. Mining could create jobs and generate revenue. It could also transform fragile landscapes that have remained largely untouched for centuries. Some communities welcome investment. Others worry about environmental damage and the long-term impact on traditional ways of life. There is no easy answer, only difficult trade-offs. When people hear the word competition, they often imagine tanks crossing borders or fighter jets in the sky. But today's rivalry over Greenland looks very different. It is a contest of investment, infrastructure, diplomacy, scientific research, economic partnerships, influence. Countries understand that whoever builds trust today may shape the Arctic tomorrow. That makes Greenland one of the world's most important diplomatic crossroads. No shots fired, no formal declarations, yet the stakes continue to rise. Because the decisions made over the next few decades could influence shipping routes, energy security, technological supply chains, and military strategy for generations. In many ways, Greenland has become the center of a quiet global contest. One fought not with armies, but with long-term strategy. The Arctic is changing faster than almost any other region on Earth. Scientists continue to study how rising temperatures are affecting Greenland's glaciers and ice sheet. For local communities, these changes are not abstract statistics. They can affect hunting seasons, fishing patterns, coastal conditions, and the stability of the land itself. For the rest of the world, Greenland has become both a warning and an opportunity. A warning about the pace of environmental change. An opportunity to access resources and shipping routes that were once hidden beneath ice. Two completely different stories, both unfolding at the same time. And perhaps that is what makes Greenland so fascinating. Its future cannot be understood through a single lens. It is a story about climate, a story about economics, a story about national identity, and a story about global power. All at once, history has a pattern. The places people once ignored often become the places everyone wants. Centuries ago, it was the Great Sea routes. Later, it was oil. Then it was silicon chips and rare earth minerals. Now, the Arctic is emerging as one of the world's newest strategic frontiers. As technology advances and the global economy evolves, the value of Greenland may continue to grow. Not because the island has changed overnight, but because the world around it has. What was once too remote has become accessible. What was once too expensive to reach is becoming more practical. And what was once dismissed as empty land is now recognized as a place with global significance. Yet Greenland's future isn't simply about economics or military strategy. It is also about balance. How do you develop natural resources without destroying the environment that has defined the island for thousands of years? How do you create jobs for future generations while protecting traditional ways of life? How do you welcome international investment without losing control of your own future? These are questions with no easy answers. Every new mine promises opportunity. It also raises concerns. Every new shipping route offers economic benefits. It also brings environmental risks. Every new partnership with a powerful nation creates possibilities. It can also create dependence. For Greenland's leaders, the challenge isn't choosing between good and bad. It's choosing between competing priorities, each carrying its own rewards and consequences. When many people look at Greenland, they see a map. Military planners see geography. Economists see minerals. Shipping companies see new routes. Scientists see one of the most important places on Earth for understanding our changing climate. But Greenland is more than any of those things. It is a homeland, a culture, a language, a history stretching back thousands of years. Behind every headline about strategy or resources are real communities deciding what kind of future they want to build. That perspective is easy to forget when the conversation focuses only on global power, yet it may be the most important perspective of all. So, why does Greenland matter today more than ever? Because it sits at the crossroads of nearly every defining issue of the 21st century. Climate change, global trade, critical minerals, technological competition, national security, energy, Arctic cooperation. and the future relationship between major world powers. Very few places on Earth connect so many global stories at once. Greenland does. Ironically, the island itself did not suddenly become valuable. Its mountains didn't grow higher. Its coastline didn't move. Its minerals were already beneath the ground. Its strategic location was always there. What changed was us. Our technology changed. Our economies changed. Our priorities changed. And suddenly, the island we once overlooked became impossible to ignore. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson Greenland has to offer. Sometimes the most important places in the world aren't the ones with the biggest cities or the largest populations. Sometimes, they're the places that quietly shape everything around them. As the ice continues to shift, as new opportunities emerge, and as the world's attention remains fixed on the Arctic, Greenland's story is still being written. Whether it becomes a model of international cooperation, a center of economic transformation, or the focus of increasing geopolitical competition, will depend on decisions being made right now, not only in Nuuk, or Copenhagen, or Washington, but across the world. Because the future of Greenland is no longer just Greenland's story. In many ways, it is all of ours.